They claim that it makes other, it makes, it makes Shuman sweet. It's sweet instead of Noti Tom leaf balm. It's like Noti Tom Lashava. It's like a
well, if you remember our question was that Tosfos left as a tzarich iyun. What was the question that Tosfos left as a tzarich iyun in Chulin? What was the case?
It's a knife of Isur that comes.
Yeah, but which kind of knife of Isur?
The knife that's left, that it's clean, and also it's not ben yomo. Whether the possibilities, whether the Harif quality of it actually got accentuated.
Exactly what Josh said. The case was an old Harif. Does Harif take a clean knife that has balua in it that's noten tam livgam and turn it from noten tam livgam to noten tam lishevach? Does it change that? That was a tzarich iyun. So we're going to get into that topic here with the kortit, with the koret, and the question is going to be: is this only a din of koret? And you can say, wait a minute, didn't Tosfos know this Gemara? Tosfos actually mentioned this Gemara, but the question really is the din that we're about to learn only by court of chiltit, or is it by everything that's harif? In other words, is this a sui generis case? Is chiltit a special thing? And mustard seeds, even though they're also harif, have a different din. Let's go on. So Isaac, my timer. Great. Okay. That's the whole case. That's the whole Gemara we need. So what does he say? What does the Gemara say?
He says, so why is this asur? Because you cut it with a knife. And even though we learned that the tentam is gam because of spiciness.
Even though we learned that noten tam of gam is mutter really, so what if you cut it with this knife? It's noten tam of gam.
Well, the spiciness seems to interact with the fattiness in such a way that it actually turns out tam sheva.
Exactly. It says Agav churfe de chiltit, the charifness of chiltit, maybe only of chiltit, or maybe of anything that's charif. Machlele lishamnute v'havele lenoten tam. It improves the fattiness and makes it noten tam lishvach, and that's why it's aser, because the fattiness into your chiltit is going to now be a good flavor, and it's going to be aser. Okay, let's look at, there's a Tosfot there. Agav churfe, you see the Tosfos? Agav churfe, the chiltit. So by the way, wait a second. We just said, sorry, let me go back. It says shamnunit. What shamnunit? Were we talking? What is this Gemara talking about? What is this pagam? Is it pagam because it's a clean knife that's been sitting out for 24 hours, like Tosfos was wondering about? Well, if it is, then why does it say shamnunit? What's shamnunit? It's a clean knife that's been sitting for 24 hours. Or is this a case? How come Tosfos even mentioned this? Sounds like, and this is the case of shamnunit. Then why is it pagam? Why is it pagum? Don't we hold the halach the Rashba says in Torah Savayas? He says, if you have a piece of fat sitting on your knife and you wait 24 hours, it's not noten tam livgam. The only thing we say is noten tam livgam is balua in a knife, something in the blade, in the metal itself, this kind of nebulous thing inside it. But whatever grease is on the outside of the knife is good. It doesn't become pagum with 24 hours. So what's the case here? You understand? What is this case here? If it's noten tam livgam, so then they must be clean. So what does it mean? Machle l'shamnute. Why does all of a sudden the Gemara say it makes the shamnute good? What's shamnute? And if there's shamnute, then how could it be pagum? Can anyone think of an answer?
Who says that the shemen, the shamnute, is not the 10 times of God after 24 hours.
The Rashba and everybody, everybody agrees to that. But we'll see. In the sources that I sent you today, you'll see who talks about it. But everybody says that. The whole halacha of, you should know that, the whole halacha of noten tam livgam by a kli is only what's balua in the kli and not what's on the kli. I mean, because obviously if you leave a, if like exactly like we were talking about with Rabbi Landis last week, I think, where Gila was talking about like her cast iron pots. That fat is nice and good after 24 hours. What the Rashba says is that the only thing that's aser is, the only thing that's pagum is what's actually in the metal, not what's on the surface or in the surface layer of the metal. Not what you can actually see. Whatever you can see is not pagum. So, can anyone think of a teretz? Don't worry if you don't, because we're going to see a teretz that we're going to see two teretzim, one of the Ra'ah and one of Rabbeinu Yonah. But l'chorah, it doesn't make sense. The Gemara doesn't make sense. I'll tell you even worse. According to many girsas, we'll see actually, but according to many girsas, the word shamnunite is not there. That's one teretz. It's not even worse, it's even better. In other words, one teretz is the word shamnunite is not in the proper girsa. And the girsa is just saying, it's talking about that an old vessel, and it's just talking about the balua, and that's why it says noten tam gam, and that balua inside the walls can become good. And it's not the word shamnunite should be removed. That's one teretz. And we'll see that's the girsa, if we look at the Ritva, that's the girsa that the Ritva has. In the girsa of the Ritva, if you look in the Ritva's commentary on this Gemara, he doesn't have the word shamnunita there. Okay, but look at this. I'll read this Tosfos. This is Tosfos. Ve'im tomar to the sagile beklipa. It says, because here it's talking about avodah zara, and it's saying that the chiltit is totally aser. Why not just say klipa? And he gives a case, gabe shchita besakin treifa. If you shecht an animal with a treif knife, with a knife that's not kosher, so we only say that the base of shchita, around the neck area, will become aser, but the rest of the animal is fine, even though it's hot. Why would we here we're saying the whole thing? V'yesh lomar, can anybody think of a simple answer? What's the simple answer? What's the difference between a cow and a little seed? Well, the main difference is size. How can you remove a klipa from a mustard seed? I mean, give me a break. Obviously, the whole thing is aser, because even if you talk about klipa being aser, that's the whole thing. The whole thing is just klipa. Like, it's so small, so that's why it says it's aser. And by the cow, you can remove an inch around the neck. But how can you move an inch around a chiltit seed? That's the simple answer. But Tosfos doesn't give that answer. He says, Gabi shchita v'yesh lomar de churfei de chiltit balatfei, that the extreme spiciness of this chiltit is more capable of being mavliya, of absorbing or of exuding than the heat of the blood of the neck of the cow. V'lo sagi beklipa v'yesh mefarshim kamo kain v'yesh. Here's also a very key point in halacha. V'yesh mefarshim kamo kain de batzal v'kiflot shenechtach besakin shel ovdei kochavim de lo sagi le beklipa da agav hurfei balatfei, that if you cut onions and other things, that also is not klipa is not enough. It goes further. Now, how much further? It's not clear what he's saying. Is he saying the whole thing, or is it kedei netila? La halacha, the halacha that we paskin is it's kedei netila, which is more than klipa. So maybe that's all he means. But the main point in halacha here is the question is chiltit sui generis, or is chiltit an example of everything? Is everything capable of taking a, let's say, a knife that is noten tam lefgam and reviving that dead flavor and turning it into good flavor? Is it only chiltit or is it also onions? And Tosfos says there are some people that say it's also onions. V'shamati b'shem ha-ram de chiltit dafka. No, it's only chiltit. De harif tfei velo batzal kiflot, and not onions. In other words, he's leaving it as a machloket whether a balur, let's say with no word shamnunit here, with an old clean knife, some say it's only chiltit, and since we never use chiltit, it's irrelevant. And other people say no, everything is the same. Okay. So what did we see? We saw in Avodah Zarah talking about milk going in from the knife, and we saw there that Rashi said, well, it could be there's shemen shuman there, and it could be there isn't, but meat going in, meat going into the onion or there it was snon, it was radishes, so that's not chiltit. But we saw that these radishes could become asur, and we don't know, and that could be a case where the knife was recently used, because it says chatach basar in the Gemara. So it could be that Rashi is only talking about a recently used knife. And now we see that perhaps an old knife that is pagum could also be a problem. Could also the whole thing, perhaps, or only a klipa, or only a netila, but it could only be by chiltit, and therefore wouldn't be such a problem for us lamaisa today, or it could be by everything. So this is actually the source that something that is balua and is old can be revitalized. Except that we're going to see a different opinion in what I sent you today. Yeah, any questions?
Isn't it the basis of like the machlok between Maharam and the Sefer Truma? Like, doesn't the Sefer Truma say it's Chilti represents everything Harif, and Maharam says it's only the Chilti?
Right, well that's what we just saw. The Tosfos says, the Maharam says it's just Chiltit. Right, exactly. That is the machloket that you see later. It's in that Tosfos already, and it's how to explain that Gemara when it's bringing the Chiltit case. Alright, I'm just opening up what I sent you. Let's see which one first. By the way, it took me a while to find these. So to me these are very valuable because I did a lot of work to get these sources here. I was in Rav Avadia Yosef's Beit Midrash today, which is a very good Beit Midrash because even though Rabbi Avadia Yosef is not there, at least physically, a lot of books are there. It's got a great library. But this book is actually pretty easy to find. This is the Torah to Bayit. Let's look at that one. The one I sent you, it says Bayit Revi'i, Shar Revi'i. You see that? So you didn't prepare this, but let's look at it. See where it says on the top. By the way, here you have, on this one page, you see a little bit of educational, import, which is that you see on the top of the page you see the Torah Tabayit. Then beneath it you see the Bedek Habayit, which is the Ra'az kashas on the Torah Tabayit. And on the bottom you see the Mishmeret Habayit, which is the Rashba's answers back to the Ra'ah, which he saw. So anyway, that's just, you see it all here on one page. It's not every page doesn't have the Bedek Habayit and the Mishmeret Habayit. But anyway, here, look at this Ella at the top. The first paragraph at the top. Ella.
Which of the three sources are you referring to?
Well, I don't know exactly the order, but it's the one that says Bayit Revi'i, Shar Revi'i.
It has Shin, Mem, Hey, and Top.
Sorry. Yeah, maybe that's not enough of an answer. Just a second. Maybe what?
It's the first one. The first one on the list. That's very attachments.
Okay.
Yeah, it says Shin. It says Shin Mem Hey, exactly what the verse said. It says Shin Mem Hey.
So it says HaKadosh?
It says Ha Karush, but I want to skip that first two lines.
Okay, got it.
But skip the first two lines and go to the first new paragraph.
Thank you.
Ella shekashe li ktsat. Haga amrinan baravoda zara perach ein ma'amidi. That's the perach that we just read. This Gemara is kasheli. Beperach ein ma'amidin kort shel chiltit. My taima amar Rava mishum de paskule. My taima. So this is just quoting the Gemara. What's the reason? Mishum de paskule besakina de aramai. They used a non-Jewish knife. Va'afal gav, or of a non-Jew. Va'afal gav da amar mar noten tam lifgam mutter. Hacha agav hurfe de sakina machlile. Here, because of the harifut of the hacha agav hurfa de sakina. Notice it says, doesn't say hurfa de chiltit. It says hurfa de sakina. Our Gemara said hurfa de chiltit. Fine. The hurfa de chiltit machlile. And also it doesn't have what word? Alma. So there's no word shamnunit there. Fine. In his Gemara there's no shamnunit. But he says, Alma afilu bestam sakinim she shamninut karush al pneihem. He says, even though I don't have the word shamnunit there, normal knives do have fat on them. So there's fat here. And there's fat on this knife. Shayach noten tam lifgam. How come the Gemara says noten tam lifgam? Because I'm the Rashba, and I hold, like pretty much everybody, that shamnunit never becomes pagum. So how come the Gemara says that this knife is pagum? V'tirutz li mori harav Rabbeinu Yonah. So Rabbeinu Yonah, his teacher, terutz this kasha. Tahatam kort shel chiltit hanimkar bechanut v'chenvani mikaneahu kelav. This is talking about industrial chiltit. This is also very relevant lemaisa. In other words, when there's a factory doing it, they keep their vessels clean. The chenvani keeps the store owner keeps it clean. Why? Kidei lahashbiach mekacho, to make it a better product. Nobody wants their chiltit to be, flavored with other flavors. So, Lomar da afilu nimkar b'chanut leika mishum shamnunit hakarush, and the Gemara is saying even though there's no shamnunit on the knife, dechenvani mekaneach le sakin v'leika ela mishum netinat tam shel giul sakin, and therefore there's only the problem of the tam in the knife, but it's aser. Why? Dechorfe dechiltit machlile, because the spiciness of the chiltit makes it, that absorbed flavor, something good now. So what's his teretz? His teretz is the knife is clean. The knife is clean, and therefore, and it's still a problem, and just remove the word shamnunit basically from the Gemara. There's no shamnunit. This is talking about a special case, and that's Rabbeinu Yonah. Because what's his problem? His problem is, how can you say that Shuman became pagum? Now look at the Bedek Habayit. The Bedek Habayit is a different answer. That's the Bedek Habayit is beneath. Va'od katav, from the beginning of it. He says like this: Od katav mechaber de kli she'eno ben yomo lo chashiv noten tam livgam el inyan bela shebo. That's what we just said. That the Rashba says that only the balua in a knife can become noten tam. The devar habalua ve'eno ben yomo chashuv bevadai noten tam livgam. Something that's old and absorbed is bad flavor. Aval kol devar shehu be'ain, anything that's in front of me, that's there, it's physical, it's substance. Eino chashuv pagum b'she'eno ben yomo. Just because it's old doesn't make it pagum. V'ken le'inyan tichat kelim, and so too regarding film on metal vessels. Ticha on kelim. Eino chashuv pagum b'she'eno ben yomo. Just because it's eno ben yomo, just because it's old, doesn't make it pagum. V'ki sharinan devash. Now he asks a question. Ki sharinan devash b'shemen v'lo chayshinan legeulei nachri mishum the hezkat kelim bestam kishe'ena b'nei yoman mishum she'en derech l'shtamesh bekelim derech bishul v'lo al yedei ha'or ela achar hadacha v'hedichu oto mitash misharishon. Fine. They're just answering a question about honey. Not important. V'hiksha me'ahida avodah zara. But now we have a kasha in avodah zara. The asrinan court shel chiltit mishum the mafseke le b'sakina the aram, because they cut it with this non-kosher knife. V'afal gav the amar mar noten tam lifgam mutter. Even though most times gam is mutter normally, agav churfei the chiltit machli le shamnunita. It makes the shamnunit. He has the word shamnunit there. V'have le noten tam lishvach. So this chorfa makes the shamnunit from pagum to shvach. Why is that a kasha on him? Because how could the shamnunit be pagum? Like our question. So what does he say? Alma ticha de sakin chashrina noten tam lifgam. So you see that the film on the vessel, on the knife, is considered noten tam lifgam. So which is it? And he doesn't hold that. Ilav mishum de time and de machlifle, except for the fact that it's, no, it would be considered pagum, except for the fact that this is spicy. So that's a kasha. And now he says, in the next column, and here's our answer. V'lav kushiyahi, and this is not a kasha klal. Kfar kat v'nuha lamala, dahatam lav mishum de chashvinan ticha de sakin devar pagum. It's not because the film on the blade is pagum. Ba'atzma. It's not essentially pagum. Daha lo efshar. That's not possible. It never becomes pagum. The im ita lo, and he also says, he gives another reason. He says, because if it would be pagum, the im ita lo hadra mitasre mishum de mishbacha kol davar shenitan machmat shenifgam eino choser leheaser leolam. He says, if it was bipagum, then the fact that you spice it up is never going to make it better. He compares it to a case, let's say you have a nevela that is pagum and inedible, and you put some really tasty spices on it. So now you can, it doesn't become usser now, because remember, we know that an inedible nevela is mutter to eat if it's inedible, if it's pagum. But what if you spice it up and it becomes good now? So he says, once it's usser, it's usser. Once it's pagum, and if you make it tasteable again, it's not going to make it usser now. It'll just be like you put perfume on something that is pagum, and it's still going to be mutter because it's essentially pagum. But this is not a case.
Question, Rabbi.
Yeah.
Is it possible that there were spices they had in the past that preserved meats, and therefore things might not be ben yomo, but if they're spiced, that they would be actually not pagum yet?
If you spice them before they became pagum, then yeah, but yes. But we're talking about where, if he says like this, if it was already pagum, then what does it help that the spiciness of the chiltit comes into it? Once it's pagum, it's mutter. And no matter how much spices I put in it, it'll always be mutter. Even if it's very tasty now. Even if I improved it afterward, according to the tfisa of the Ra'ah, the author of the Perek HaBayit, once it is pagum, it's mutter, and you can never make it asur again. But he still didn't get his answer. What's his answer? He says it's not essentially pagum. He says like this. Ela hachi ka'amar. Rather, this is what it's saying. The salcha daicha amina. I'm on the 5th line. The salcha daicha amina, that you thought mishum delav orche de chiltit b'shanunit, that since normally you don't want to have fat in your chiltit, delahave a pagam bo. It's considered a pagam in your chiltit if you have fat in it, even if it's good fat. The kevan the ken litshare. Therefore, it should be mutter. If you're alright, so let me remind you of this halacha. Remember this halacha that we have? That this, first of all, there's pagum where the thing is essentially pagum, which we learned from the nevela that you can give to the Ovid Kochavim. In other words, there's two kinds of pagum. One is that the thing is essentially pagum, nobody want to eat it. Now if it fell into your food, it's not going to do anything. There's another kind of pagum, that the food is perfectly good on its own, but this combination of two foods are pogem each other, like honey and meat. It could be that some meat falls into your honey, it's going to ruin your taste of your honey. But the meat was good and the honey was good. So, without reading further, but that's what the Berech Habayis says is what's going on here. It's not that it's that the fat on the, there is fat on the knife. And the fat, we thought the fat was pogem in chiltit. And the Gemara answers and says, no, that good fat is not pogem in chiltit, because of it normally we would think that, but actually because it's harif, it makes it a good flavor. So what is the Berech Habayis gain by saying all this? He gains by saying this, that the only problem of there is no source anywhere. The only problem is cutting a knife cutting chiltit with a dirty knife. That's what the Gemara is talking about. And if you cut it with a clean knife, the Gemara wasn't saying that that's asur.